Welcome to the Brave Woman Podcast. I'm your host, Tanya Lynn, founder of Sistership Circle and author of Open Your Heart and The Art of Leading Circle. I'm the mother of 2 girls, an 8 on the Enneagram, aka the Challenger, happily married to my business partner, Brent, love connecting with nature, and have put in well over 10,000 hours circling with other women. On this podcast, we will explore how to embody the brave woman so that you can take action on your dreams and desires, unapologetically speak your truth, and live life on your own terms. Grab a seat and a cup of tea, and let's get started. Welcome back to our brave woman journey that we're on, and we are in the final stretch where we are talking about how to embody the brave woman. And we talked about the power of your voice, the power of your pleasure, and this week is about the power of your magic. Now, if you remember when we went into the witch wound and we talked about what is your magic, and it's unique to you. So what does it really mean for you to embody your magic? To be in your full feminine power. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is the patriarchy has trained us to essentially be like men and to disregard the feminine, for us to disconnect from the feminine. And this whole process is around remembering the feminine and connecting with that energy. And, this energy, the feminine and masculine energy, can be found within both men and women. And there's something really powerful about women connecting with this energy and bringing it forth. And I believe that that's how men then will also accept it. So there's a part here of remembering and reclaiming your feminine superpowers. And what do we mean by that? Well, if we think about some of the qualities of the feminine and where we've disconnected, it's about how do we integrate that back into our lives and really lead from that place. So our feminine superpowers are our intuition, our emotions, our ability to emote and to connect with others. It's collaboration, it's desire, the wanting, it's the Shakti life force, the creative force. It is, there's a whole list of different things that are the feminine superpowers. It's the creativity that you hold within yourself. And it's really in our bodies, the body wisdom, this connection with our bodies, with our womb space. And they say actually that there's an energetic womb space called the hara that can be in the man's body. But this ability to feel the power of our wombs, and that the womb within the body, the energetic womb, is connected with the cosmic womb. And that is the creation of all things. This cosmic womb is what birthed all of existence, all of the universe. And it is this black hole. And so when we start to embrace the power of our womb space, that ability to create life, create dreams, create ideas, that creativity that lies within us, that pure potentiality. If you think about a black hole out in space, there's a void there. There's also a void within our wombs. And when we tap into that void, it's the nothingness that then gives birth to something. So in us connecting with our magic, it's to really tune into the power that we hold within our own bodies, within our wombs, that pure potentiality, that ability to create from nothing. Can you feel the power that you hold? And again, this goes for all human beings. But there's something powerful about being in a woman's body with a physical womb. And if you've perhaps had your womb replaced, like the energetic womb that still lies there within you, you can create anything that you want. You can create life itself, as in creating another human. But if you think about this from a larger context of, you can create the life that you want. And here's the thing. Here's where this magic really comes in. We get so stuck in the circumstances, in the challenges, in the things that don't feel like they're working. We get so caught up in the mundane problems, issues, and we forget that we actually get to say how it goes. That is how powerful you are. You get to say how it goes. It's almost as if we all live in our own realities. It's a multiverse. And each one of us is looking at reality from our lens. So two people can be looking at the exact same thing and see it completely differently. We can be living in the same town and have completely different experiences of that town. We have the power to create what it is that we're seeing based on our inner landscape, which is our belief system and the way in which we are connected to our magic. If you don't realize that you have that power to create, you're disconnected from your magic. You're disconnected from the power within you to create. So in this larger context, your magic is your ability to create. Your ability to give birth to the life that you desire, regardless of circumstances. Now, this gets tricky, right? Because these circumstances that come up are real. And we can easily get caught up in them and fall victim to them and get hijacked by them, right? By all the triggers. So part of the work here, stepping into being the brave woman, the embodiment of this and the power of your magic, is your ability to respond instead of react to your triggers. Circumstances are going to be there, right? You might have a trigger or not. That is the work. So the magic is to have that awareness of what's going on and how you're reacting to things, and whether you're resisting what's coming up or seeing it all as happening for you and being in the flow of life with all of its currents. If you are able to see that things are happening for you, even if they don't look the way you want it to look, that's tapping into the magic. Because as soon as you can recognize, oh wow, this is happening for me. What's the medicine here? We're no longer attached. We're no longer triggered. We're no longer, what do we want to say, entangled with what's happening. We can then pop out and have this different viewpoint of what's happening and then navigate it and shift it. And the thing is that once we start to play with this magic that we have, the power of creation, that we can then start to alter what circumstances are coming into the space. So I'll give you an example of what happened this past week. And then we're also going to get into like your individual magic, right? Because there's like this power that we all hold, the magic that we all hold as human beings, spiritual beings in these human forms. And then there's like the individual magic that each one of us holds that's unique to each of us. So I just had my biggest launch with Rise Into Your Leadership. And we had 1,500 women signed up. Over 500 attended live on Friday. It was the biggest event that I've ever held. And it literally felt like I was being taken out and that every single one of my worst fears was coming true. I feel like I was really teed up to have this be a very graceful and easy event. We've been doing this for a while. The team was set up. And yet my husband was at Burning Man. So Brent and I have been running this business together, right? And this is the first time where he was completely inaccessible and completely removed from anything that we've done. And so what was coming up for me was this fear that I didn't have capacity, this fear that I wasn't supported, and that I wasn't actually going to be able to do this. I saw it as like massive sabotage happening. And so as we're getting closer, the weekend before my youngest daughter gets sick, she's got a fever, she can't go to school on Monday, and I'm like, oh great. So I'm going to either catch this or my other daughter's going to catch this. And I'm either going to be sick during this event or my daughter's going to be sick during this event. Well, sure enough, on Thursday, the day before the event, I get a call from the school that Callie needs to be picked up because she's got this big rash all over her face. And I guess there's a case of hand and foot, some disease that's been going around and it's contagious and all this. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? What the heck am I going to do? I'm not going to actually be at my house during this event. I'm going down to the co-work place down in Santa Teresa, which is 30 miles away or 30 minutes away. I don't have childcare. Like my babysitter actually is a girl at the school. Like she's in school. How am I going to handle this? And I literally felt like everything was collapsing on top of me. And I was upset because I was like, Brent could have been back by now. Who am I going to call on? And then it was like, oh, this is happening for me. I'm getting hijacked here. What's the medicine? I'm in my own initiation right now. And this is happening so that I could really get how supported I am. The reality that I am creating is that I am supported. And that this event actually will be graceful and with ease. And sure enough, I get 2 women to watch Callie. One could do the morning, one could do the afternoon. I take her to the doctor. The doctor tells me, yes, whatever your other daughter caught, she caught as well, but this is not contagious. It's a bacterial infection. All she needs is antibiotics here. She doesn't need to stay home from school tomorrow. So it all worked out as I caught my mind spinning out into these limited beliefs, into the fear and the doubt, the old stories creeping in, and that I was actually creating this circumstance. I was creating this reality, and I had the power to change it. There was something else that was taking my attention. And so I was like, all right, where's all the places that I can clean up the integrity and create this clean space? Essentially being in this womb space where it's all this clutter, all this energy is cleared out. And I can create from the pure potentiality, again, the pure possibilities. And so I started to make a list of everything that was out of integrity, started to do that work, started to really focus and put my mind on what it is that I wanted and what I was creating. Our minds are so powerful. Our bodies are so powerful. So it's like the whole package of who we are as humans is the magic. Think about the intricacy of how these bodies work. How many millions of just neurons in the body, and the way in which like this whole system works as a little mini universe. Our bodies mirror the universe out there. We are little mini universes. And we have the power to create what it is that is our experience. That should get you really, really excited. And so the work is to start to notice when you go unconscious, when you go into survival strategies, when you get triggered, and when you start to fall victim to the circumstances that are showing up. And instead, to catch yourself and bring the awareness and ask yourself the question, why is this happening for me? What's the medicine? And then we can shift everything, and we can really tap into the power of these magical brains that we have, these magical minds, our ability to like really zone in and focus on what it is that we want. And that is the manifestation process. We can manifest miracles. That's our magic. So let's shift into your individual magic that you hold. And each one of us has a uniqueness of why we were born on this planet at this time. The unique codes, the unique DNA that you hold within you. Yes, you are a human with this magical possibility, the ability to create, and there's a soul that's unique to you that came here for a reason. Are you tapped into that? Are you tapped into your dharma, your soul's purpose of why you were brought here and the magic that you have to offer the world? And so this magic that you hold is your unique gifts and talents and strengths that you were both born with and that you've cultivated through your life experiences. It's a combination. It's like a lock pad that's very unique. It has its own code that you are the only one who knows. And yet, what happens? The mind tries to make us feel insignificant. This monkey mind tries to make us feel like we're not worthy, that we don't matter. And that is the conditioning that we have to overcome. To really, really get that you matter. You were brought here for a reason, and you matter simply because you were born with this unique code that you hold. To bring your individual magic here to this planet to make the change. And this is all in the name of the evolution of humanity. And right now we see a lot of chaos. We see a lot of people who've gone asleep. And so you, in your magic, are here to wake other people up. That's what this all comes down to, is that we have things to help people heal, for people to wake up, for people to have more of a conscious awareness and presence and a reconnection with their own divinity. And we each have a different way of doing that. That's the individual magic that you hold. And your magic, your lock pad, opens doors for people. And so it's people who are looking for that unique code. It's the thing that they're needing to unlock within themselves. You hold it. And so, can you remain open? And what I mean by open is allowing yourself to be the channel for spirit to flow through you. And then open, like this open vessel, but also open for others to find you. So if you're blocking your energy, if you're going invisible, if you're hiding yourself, they can't find your magic. They can't connect with you. But the more that you're open, your heart is open, you are present and available, then all of a sudden they can find you. And again, it's those who need your unique code. They need your magic. So maybe that is that you're really good with health. You're really good with understanding the connection between food and our bodies. And that's your magic. Or maybe you're really good at connecting with sexual energy. And that's what people come to you for, is to unlock their sacred sexuality. Or maybe you're really good with herbs and medicinal plants, and you're able to then give people exactly the thing that they need to become well, to heal their bodies. There's so many different ways that our magic can show up. And so one of the ways that I found out what my magic was is to follow the breadcrumbs, to connect the dots from my past. And there was a speech that Steve Jobs did at Stanford a long time ago. And he asked the students, it was for the graduating class, to look at connecting the dots of their life and to see what it was, that the path that they've been on. And so if we follow those breadcrumbs into our past and we look at the things that we've been most passionate about, that we've been committed to, perhaps even devoted to, the things that we've cultivated, and we start to see the patterns. We start to, it's like if we were tracing these dots, it creates this picture. And it could start to take form. We can start to see, oh wow, this is my magic. And it's been there all along, all the way back since birth. So it's even thinking about the things that you were interested in, the things that have drawn you in, the things that have magnetized you from being a little tiny baby, the way in which your personality has been. And we can take these different tests to see, like we can look at our human design and our gene keys and our Myers-Briggs and our Strength Finder. We could take all these tests to help us also to see what it is that we carry, this code that we carry. And we start to become clearer and clearer as we put all these pieces together, when we trace the line and we connect the dots. And so part of it is the clarity of what is your magic. And then the other piece is the expression of that. And we talked about this with the witch wound piece of like the fear of being burned at the stake, the fear and where we get that the scratchiness in our throat and how we have to be clearing out the throat chakra to actually be able to stand in this magic, to express this magic, to allow others to know it is there. And then to create that protective field around us. So it's almost like this invisibility cloak for those who don't need it, and then this openness and this bright light for those who do. And as soon as we release our fears around those who we feel like are going to harm us or where it feels unsafe, and we create that boundary, we create that protective field. So boundaries are so, so important that all of a sudden those people just kind of go away. And this is what my biggest fear around this event was as well. As the last time I did an event in March, I felt like it was this witch hunt and that I was being burned at the stake and publicly humiliated and people, attacking me online and all these things. And then it felt like that was actually starting to happen again as we're running Facebook ads. And this one woman from March's event is coming in there and it feels like she's just throwing bombs and she's copying and pasting her one thing and putting it on every single post. And it's literally taking me 30 minutes to delete all of the trash talking that she's doing. But I was like, oh, you know what? I can actually create a protective field here and set a boundary. First of all, just by banning her, like this is my Facebook page, right? We think that we can just let people do this. No, we set a boundary. And then all of a sudden, we create these rituals to literally banish that energy from the space and it's no longer showing up. It's only showing up for us, for a lesson, for the medicine, right? For us to get something, for us to heal something. To heal that part of us that is so afraid of being rejected or afraid of being burned at the stake. And so once we heal that, we're not going to attract that into our reality anymore. And so again, these boundaries, the energetic boundaries of what you're allowing. I'm not allowing these people to see me over here, but I am allowing these ones. I'm sending out the smoke signal that is a very specific color that only my people, the people who need my medicine, can actually see. The other ones are completely blind to it. And so once you're really awake in this way, what you'll notice is how you truly are invisible to those who don't need you. They can't actually see you anymore. It's almost as if you are a wizard from Harry Potter and the muggles can't see you. It's like you are invisible. And that is such a powerful tool as we step into the embodiment of our magic. Is we are cloaked. We have our invisibility cloak for those who we don't want to see us. But then we are wide open to be received by those who do need our magic. So, the last piece here is around having the sister support. As you are embodying your magic and you are living your desired life, your lifestyle, the way in which you want to show up, the way in which you're expressing yourself, who are you surrounding yourself with? And our tendency is to create relationships with people who perhaps trigger us so that we can keep getting more medicine and keep healing. But can we consciously be aware of calling forth other magical sisters who are on the same path? And to start to surround ourselves with a circle of women who truly get us. This has been the biggest challenge for me, and I see it, for others as well. It's a challenge, but it's also the most rewarding and the most fulfilling, is when you can just be yourself and you can have sisters supporting and loving you and also holding you accountable to who you say you are. And they can see the truth of who you are and not actually get caught into your stories and your victim mentality around your circumstances. They help to raise and elevate you. And that is truly the real magic, is the power of our collective as we are rising up as women, embodying our power, embodying our magic. That's how we're going to change the world. It's through the numbers. More and more women connected with their magic and remembering their feminine power. And so when we start to gather, we start to reflect back each other's magic. We start to remember by looking each other in the eye. That is the power of sisterhood, that sometimes we can't actually see ourselves clearly. We can't see ourselves clearly. We can't actually identify what our magic is, but our sisters sure can see it. And I see this all the time in the circles that I'm in, is I can see a woman very, very clearly of who she is and what she's here to do. And I can ask her some questions and really get right to it, right? That is the power of sisterhood, is we can see each other more clearly sometimes than we could see ourselves. But then once a sister tells us, yes, this is your magic, this is what I see, we have to feel the resonance within our own bodies of, is that truth? And then really connect and take that in and own it, and then embody it and not forget it. And then we will forget it. And so then we have to remember. And whether that's constantly going back into the circle to be reminded, until then it becomes our own habit of remembering. And that's the embodiment. It's where the window of forgetting is less and less, because it's truly like, yeah, like this is who I am. I'm very connected with who I am. So in closing here, for you to step into the power of your magic, it's to look at the 7 generations back and the 7 generations forward. Who are you for your ancestors? The women who came before you. The women who you've stood on their shoulders to get to this place. And who are you for the women after you? For the next line, for the women into the future. There is such power in where you stand and really getting that you matter in this lineage. You matter because you are part of the evolution of humanity and raising the consciousness of this planet. And so with that, we will close up the embodiment section and come back to our final session next week. You just listened to this show. I'd love for you to leave the Brave Woman podcast an honest review. Reviews help podcasts like this one grow, making it more possible for me to devote my time, energy, and money to its production. If you take a screenshot of your review and email it to support@sistershipcircle.com, we'll send you one of our archetype activations as a thank you gift. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Up next, our final episode for the season. We're going to wrap up this heroine's journey with some lessons and takeaways, so tune in for conscious completion in the next Brave Woman episode.